a similar group of Warriors that took the floor to get a win against Houston on Friday night. And as Steve Kerr told us pregame, it's not your old Warriors, and it's certainly not what they hope will be the future Warriors, Richard, down the stretch when all those guys return. Without Karl Anthony Towns, again, without Rudy Gobert tonight.
Well, and he talked about wanting to see Conley be more aggressive.
They have not played well at all against the bottom feeders in the NBA, and so they're looking to pick it up a notch here as they start a 4-game California road trip. Looney foul and one. It's 172 in a row.
In a month and a half is very, very different. Same with this team in the Minnesota Timberwolves. There is really no Karl Anthony Towns. There's no timetable for him to come back, which means it's not a week away. Jordan Poole's got to be aggressive from the start of this game, really kind of setting the tone. That, I believe, will help him get other people involved as the game goes on.
Higher on the scouting report. All things that he's trying to adjust to this year.
And that's the ultimate compliment. I don't think people understand. Steve Kerr is imploring his guys to pick the pace up, keep the energy up.
Poole in and out, Looney. Last 5 games for Kevon, he's averaging 13 boards per night.
Steve Kerr is imploring his guys to pick the pace up, keep the energy up.
Poole in and out, Looney. Last 5 games for Kevon, he's averaging 13 boards per night. Here is Rivers off the bounce, attacking Lamb. Looney boards the miss.
But they're going to need Ant Edwards to get involved. Right now, he's on that bench. Hasn't really done much in this game. And if they're going to come out of here with a win, he's got to pick it up.
Reed back out there after that 18-point first quarter. He's got the mismatch if they can find him. Conley.
But I think having Klay Thompson there next to you, also the way that they play together and showed that you can win just shooting threes, because that was the biggest knock on them early. Those Splash Brothers contributed to the change of the game, also with a little change in the rules, allowing for the freedom of movement. Conley's just one of those players, every time you see him shoot, you're just like, we want you to shoot more.
Looney with the follow. T-Wolves wanted a goaltend.
Conley's just one of those players, every time you see him shoot, you're just like, we want you to shoot more.
Looney with the follow. T-Wolves wanted a goaltend.
So sometimes you just see things, the way they're matching up with you, how they're guarding you. They're not closing out to him on the three-point line, so he knows he's going to get all the time. Speaking of all the time, Jordan Poole knocks down a little three.
Thompson the release, off the drive. DiVincenzo, 3 is short. Commit. Don't forget to shop NBAstore.com for the best selection of NBA gear.
Those were clearance. They were sent wherever the losing Super Bowl shirts go. Wherever those losing Super Bowl shirts go, yeah, the Eagles Super Bowl shirts, that's where they're sold at. Those were clearance. They were sent wherever the losing Super Bowl shirts go. Wherever those losing Super Bowl shirts go, yeah, the Eagles Super Bowl shirts, that's where they're sold at. You know, Draymond Green is one of Defensive Player of the Year, helming the great defense and communicating. Just right now, it is not there.
Garza, offensive rebound, count it.
That's what I feel like that second effort from the Warriors has been missing, and they've been so good for 7-8 years at it.
Thompson, short.
Back into it. When we give them offensive rebounds, they've gotten back into it there too. All these extra possessions that
so for him, he knows he can take his time. They weren't closing out to him at 3. He could take his time and shoot threes, which he did.
As we approach clutch time.
You said it earlier, we got an all-star game missing. Literally, you got an all-star team, 5 all-stars over the last couple years, not in this game tonight.
Alexander Walker, that won't go. Looney's got it, and Golden State can chip away. Anderson finds Conley weak side. Reed down the lane, and a trip to the line for Nas.
That is the ultimate thing that you want to see from a young player. You don't want him sulking, frustrated that he's not getting shots or calls or fouls. The fact that he is out there supporting his teammates, he tried, but you got to be at the scorer's table when that buzzer goes off.
Rivers Looney's got it.
I think they're going back to that zone that was so effective at kind of keeping Anthony Edwards where, he is right now.
29 for Thompson on the night.
You see, they're not leaving Anthony Edwards. They are in a... Look, I said it. We talked about Steph being out there. We saw Andre. Now we got Draymond Green out there in the fourth corner supporting his teammates. And he is getting an absolute show. We got a loose ball foul.
Going to be a foul on Looney.
We got a loose ball foul.
Going to be a foul on Looney.
Set a screen if you're Anthony Edwards on the ball, because that's not what they want to do.
Jordan Poole, step back. Tipped up and in by Looney.
Set a screen if you're Anthony Edwards on the ball, because that's not what they want to do.
Jordan Poole, step back. Tipped up and in by Looney. Thought about it, now will drive and try and drop it off, and they turn it over. Little lax on that pass. Edwards will try again.